Yes, good afternoon, one and all. Um, I have shared this literature review format on my Moodle account, so you can use that format for the preparation of report of review literature review. So you have to first add the introduction, then you have to write down the algorithms or the systems which are implemented in the same area. Um, in detail you have to give it, and also along with this you have to give the analysis of that particular algorithms. Okay, and last one is the conclusion, and after that you have to add the references uh, from which you have taken that content. Okay, and these rubrics are also given in this file, that is your mark distribution, that is selection of problem or selection of your topic goes 5 marks, then understanding of algorithms and its analysis for 7 marks, then report writing is for 5 marks, and question answers I will take oral on that particular topic. Then for question answer 3 marks are given. Okay, so this is the rubrics. These are the rubrics given in the same file. You can refer that and prepare the report. Okay, any problem or any query regarding this report?
No, ma'am.
You have to mention all the algorithms implemented in that particular area or in that particular topic. You have to mention in detail that algorithms in your report. Okay, then I will take. In the previous lecture, we have seen these concepts, that is fault tolerance, failure models, how to mask the failure of the distributed system when we are considering the replication. Okay, so what do you mean by the physical redundancy? These concepts are already covered in the previous lecture. Then also flat and hierarchical group concept is covered in the previous lecture. Can anyone tell me the difference between flat and hierarchical group? Yes. Who will tell me? बोला चिन्मय, Anuja. Diagram is in front of you. Chinmay, are you there? Komal, anyone? Riddhi, tell me about that. What is the need of that group? Yes, where we need that group? Just tell me about the difference between multicasting and broadcasting. Tell me about the difference between multicast and broadcast. Anyone? Yes? Shweta?
Ma'am, hello.
Yes, Chinmay, tell me.
Ma'am,
Hello?
can I say? Hello?
Yes, Shweta.
Ma'am, in broadcasts, it is a one-to-all techniques. So, in broadcasting, transmission happens from one host to all the other hosts which are connected. But in multicasting, it can have one or more senders or one or more recipients.
Okay. Any other answer from other member? In broadcasting, the single sender is there, and single sender sends the message to each and every member which is connected to that sender. Okay, and in multicasting, the facility is given that no, that particular message is received by all the remaining members of the that particular location or connected. Just groups are created, and suppose several groups are available there, and I want to communicate with the specific group only, then I can just join that group and send the message with the help of multicasting. Okay, so no, that message is received by all the members, but only the members which are connected to the group only. Okay, so this is the basic difference between multicasting and broadcasting. Then flat and hierarchical group. In that flat group, the members means the group is having suppose 5 different members, then each member is connected to one and all, then the single point of failure is not available here in case of flat group. But in case of hierarchical group, the one single coordinator is available, and the special capability is having that particular coordinator, and the coordinator will means it will replace, or it will route that particular a request coming from other group members. Okay, so it is responsible to that to send the request to the specific member or specific worker of that particular group. So this is the difference between flat and hierarchical group. But whenever we are considering it, single point of failure is available in the hierarchical group, because if one coordinator is there which is having the special capability, then if the coordinator fails down, then remaining means the complete system will get fails. And to overcome that, uh, one of the algorithm is being used to elect the coordinator for both groups, whether it is flat group or the hierarchical group. Okay, so we have already covered this topic. Then we'll see the next topic here. Okay, we have seen this concept in the previous lecture. Now we'll see the next, that is hierarchical feedback control. So how the feedback control is done here in case of the hierarchical group. Then suppose in the hierarchical group, one single coordinator is there. This diagram shows that single coordinator and all the remaining machines are connected to the coordinator through this backbone. Then suppose two groups are there in this diagram, two groups are available, and one of the member of first group want to communicate with the member which is available at the second group. Then here the sender sends the message to the coordinator. Coordinator is responsible to communicate with the coordinator of the second one group here, and then that coordinator will send the message to the receiver end. Okay, which is available at the second group. So in this way, the feedback control, the hierarchical feedback control is done here. So local area network is being used for the communication, and route is available. Suppose this is the route, and this complete is one group, and this one is the another group. Okay, so route will send the message and send it to the coordinator of the second one group, and after that, the coordinator of second group sends that particular request to the receiver end. So each local coordinator forwards the message. So this is the local coordinator for this group, and this is the local coordinator of this one group. So each local coordinator forwards the message to its children. A local coordinator handles the retransmission request. It handles the retransmission request. If that particular request is not received by the receiver end, then that particular local coordinator will send it again. No need to communicate with again the coordinator of the group one. Okay, because that copy is kept by the coordinator, local coordinator only, and till that request is received to the receiver, that particular copy will be maintained by the coordinator. Once the acknowledgement is received by that coordinator, the coordinator will discard that message. Okay, but if the receiver do not receive that particular message, then the coordinator will again resend that message to the receiver. The local coordinator is responsible for that task. Then next is the basic multicasting. So here, as we know about the concept of multicasting, so here, in case of that, the multicasting, the message will eventually be delivered to all the members of the group during multicasting. A fixed membership is there. Means whenever I want to send one message to specific group, then I should have the membership to that particular group. So that for that purpose I need to join that group. Then we can join or we can leave the group at any time, but we can't join the group or leave the group in between the system, means what we can say, the system operation. Suppose one member is sending message to all the remaining members, and at the same time, if one of the member leave that particular group, but that member is waiting for the response from all the remaining group. Okay, so we have already seen the example in the previous lecture that that's why the assumption is what, or the rule is what, no one can leave or no one can in between the operation, system operation. Okay, so for that particular multicasting, every time that the sender is means the sender is should be in that particular group. Okay, it should having the membership of that group only, then only it can send the message to that group. Then the group view, here G is equal to pi, means what, the group is having p number of processes. Okay, and then the implementation of the basic multicasting, here for that particular function parameter we need to pass, that is G and M, where G is the information of group. Then whenever sender has to send something, it should know the identity of that particular group, and it should know all the receivers. Means this is actual assumption that all the processes are alive and all the processes identity should be known to the sender, so that that sender will send the message to that particular group. Okay, so information of that group means the IP address of the specific identifier of that group should known by the sender before sending the message. So every time whenever we are implementing this multicast, basic multicast function, we need to pass these two parameters, or the sender should know this information. Here sender has to send message M, but before sending that message, sender should know about the information or the identification of the group, so that that particular sender will send the message. So for that purpose, these parameters we need to pass for that function, that is G and M, where G is having n number of processes like pi. Okay, and then for each pi in G, send pi comma M, where one-to-one message is sent from process P to that particular group. Okay, so no need to here the broadcasting is not uh, means not used in this particular one point to point, means one to each and every member is sending that particular message. Okay, means sender sends the message pi comma M, where pi is maybe p1 p2 p3 p4. Okay, so simultaneously that messages are sending, but point to point communication is there, no broadcasting communication is there. Okay, so on the receive side, when the receiver pi receives that particular message, then it will send again the deliver message to pi at pi, or at the particular sender. Okay, then the message delivery, then if the message is to send the message or to receive that particular message, two different queues are maintained. First one queue is holdback queue, and second one queue is delivery queue. Okay, suppose one of the member of that particular queue want to send the message, but at the same time if one more sender want to communicate with, then which will send the message at the specific time. No more than two processes sends the message simultaneously. So for that purpose, the holdback queue is maintained here. So if new message is there, okay, then that new message is stored at HB queue, that is holdback queue. Do not directly stored by this delivery queue. Okay, it should maintain by holdback queue message. Sorry, holdback queue, and then the decision is making that whether that message is delivered or not. Okay, if it is if that message should deliver, then only the message is transferred from holdback queue to the deliver queue. Okay, and then the message is allowed to be delivered, then it will transfer from HBQ to DQ. And when at the head of DQ, means Here, if the message is at head, then it will deliver to that application. Okay, so in this way, the message is delivered to each and every process. Understood? Now, next thing is what? Here we can say that suppose we are considering this, that is the message is the processes are there, n number of processes are there, and they are processes of same group, okay, and they want to send some messages at the specific time. Then the timestamp is also allocated to that, and the identifier means what? The timestamp is allocated to each and every frame or each and every message. Message is divided into number of frames, okay, and timestamp is allocated to each and every frame, and then that particular frame is sending from sender to the receiver end, but it will not directly transfer to the delivery queue. It will transfer it to the holdback queue first, and then once it is ready to deliver, then only it will transfer from holdback queue to the delivery queue. And when it is at the top end or it is at the head end, then only that particular frame is delivered by the application. Okay, then next one is the reliable multicast and group changes. Means what? Whenever we are considering this concept, that is you want to communicate, or suppose you want to send some message, or any sender want to send some message to the specific group, then it has to join that group first. If it is not the member of that particular group, it has to join that message or join that group. So how to change the group and how to join that group, we know about that, but whenever we are considering this, we need to assume something, that is reliable point to point communication. This is one of the assumption. Means what? Whenever sender sends that message, and if that message is received by one of the member of that group, means what? That particular message is received by all the remaining group of that member. Okay, this is the basic assumption. And the second one assumption is what? All the members are alive. Means all the members are means not in the fail state. No member is in the fail state. Okay, so the group is G, and G is having P processes, and then each PI is the group view. Okay, means what? Every member of that particular group should know about the group view. Okay, means suppose five systems are there, five processes are there in the same group, then that all five processes knows about the identity and information of each and every member of that particular group. So each process P is having the group view. Then the reliable multicasting. In the reliable multicasting, again we need to pass two parameters, that is G and the message. Message is the particular message that sender want to communicate with the group, and G is the information of group where view is also stored. Okay, then if a message is delivered to one in G, if that particular message is delivered to one in G, means what? G is the group, and one of the member received or delivered that particular group, then it is delivered to all the remaining members of the group. Okay, this is one of the assumption of the reliable multicasting. Then the group change. How to change the group? Just by using join and leave function. Whether that particular system want to join, then it can join using join method, and if that particular system don't want to leave that group, then it can leave the group with the help of leave method. Okay, and this is just to use a change of group view. Okay, means whenever one of the member or system want to join that particular group, and if that if that system was the group member of another group, okay, before that particular time, then it is having different group view, but currently it is joining one more group, then it will have another group view. Okay, so group view is denoted by VC variable. So here change of group view, we can say to that update as a multicast. Every time whenever that particular sender has to send the data, or for sender will join that group and change the group view, and then and only then it will send that message to the group. Okay, so concurrent group or change and multicast, group change and the multicast, the both functions concurrently done. Here concurrent message M and VC. M is the messages and the VC is the change of group. Okay, or view group changes. Then the virtual synchrony is being used here. All the non-faulty processes, see M and MC in the same order. So first of all, we'll see about virtual synchrony. What do you mean by this? The virtual synchrony is a mechanism or the algorithm. It is an algorithm or the mechanism tackling the atomic multicast problem. Means it uses the multicast problem and it tackles that particular problem. Similar to atomic transaction, the atomic multicast refer to the scenario that the message is delivered to either all the group members or not to all. Okay, means here suppose one of the member sending some message to all the remaining members. Okay, but in between that means before completion of that particular operation, if the sender goes down, means if the sender falls down, then what should be there, what should happen in that particular case, whether the complete operation is done at all the end or all the members, or no operation is complete or happen at the all end. Okay, means whether the information is updated, complete information is updated at all the remaining end, or no information is updated at the end of remaining members. That is called as the virtual synchrony. So here in that particular case, suppose currently the sender is available at group GI, but it want to change the group, then the GI will be changed to GI plus 1. So here the virtual synchrony, in that virtual synchrony, all processes CM and VC in the same order. Means all the remaining processes, check the value of M and VC first. M is the message and VC. So M is having the identifier, each and every identifier of that particular message, and VC means the view of that change of group. Okay, so the members, it should be in the same order for the virtual synchrony. So initially, suppose there are two different um, uh, means what we can say, two different cases can be there. Suppose initially M comma VC. So if we are passing that particular variables, the first order is M comma VC, then M is delivered to all non-faulty processes in GI. Okay, so here M is delivered to all the remaining non-faulty processes. But whenever we are using the order that is VC comma M, where the change of group information is given before the message, then M is delivered to all the processes in GI plus 1, because initially M is delivered to the group. Okay, but previous group was GI, then all the processes receive messages are received by the processes from GI only. But whenever we are considering the order that is VC comma M, then VC means what, the information of change of that particular group we are passing first. Means what, the processes which are present at GI plus 1, group GI plus 1, that processes will receive the message M. Okay, so we need to maintain that order, whether we are passing that parameters in the format M comma VC or VC comma M. Okay, so here it is depending upon the sender, whether sender is alive or it is in the fail state. Depending upon that, we can pass that particular messages. So the problem, what problem occurs here? The sender fails in between the operation. If the sender fails in between the operation, then what should be there and how can you recover that particular problem? Then the two different alternative solutions are available or given there. Here, first one solution is what? M is delivered to all the other members of GI. And the second one is what? The M is ignored by all other members of GI. These two alternative solutions are given. Means what? In between the operation, if sender fails down, then the M is means message is delivered to all other members, all the remaining members of GI. Whenever we are passing order that is M comma VC, the ordering is M comma VC, means the previous group will receive that message and complete delivery of that particular message is done in the first one solution. But in the second one solution, when we are passing VC first and then M, means what, the another group information we are passing first and then message first, then the message is ignored by all the remaining members of GI, means that particular message is not received by GI, it should received it by GI plus 1. Okay, so these two alternative solutions are given for the problem of sender failure. So here we can see in this diagram, we can see here in this virtual synchronous reliable multicasting diagram here, four different processes are there, P1, P2, P3, P4. Previously only P2, P3, P4 are in the group, but P1 was not there. So if P1 want to send something, then P1 has to join the group. Okay, so here P1 join that particular group, and before joining that group, P2 has sent that message. Okay, so P2 sends message to P3, P4, and once P1 joined, then P2 again send that message to P1 also. Okay, that messages are received by remaining processes of that particular group G. Okay, but now the reliable multicasting by this point-to-point messages here. Here again P1 has something to communicate with remaining processes of G. Then P1 sends that message to remaining processes, that is P2, P3 and P4. Okay, but right now at time T, P3 want to share something, or P2 want to send the message to all the remaining messages, and here P3 sends the message, but in between that particular operation P3 P3 crashes. Okay, then what should be there here? P3 crashes means what? Right now group information is only P2, P1, P2 and P4. So after this the group G is having the information P1, P2 and P4, and before this G is having the information P1, P2, P3, P4. Here P3 is crashes right now, means what? The partial multicasting is there for P3, then the P is discarded. Whatever the message is passed, that particular message is discarded by the P3, and no processes P1, P2 and P4 receive that particular message. All the remaining process discard that message. Okay, and after that after some time P4 want to send some data, then P4 will not send the message to P3. Okay, because P3 is currently in down state. So in the G information P3 is not available, so that the remaining process, means P4 will send only two messages only to live processes, that is P1 and P2, not to P3. And after some time again, if the P3 is again up, means it is in the live state, then again the G information will changes from this one to this one. Means currently G is having again four processes, that is P2, P3, P4, P3, and here P3 is having something to communicate. Then after that, once the P3 is in live state, then P3 will send the message to all the remaining processes available in G only. And currently G is having all the four processes, so P3 will send the message to all the remaining P1, P2 and P4 process. Okay, so here the time with respect to time, the G will be changed. G changes from time to time, every time, as per the status of each and every process. Okay, so here the principle of virtual synchronous multicasting, that is a reliable multicast, and if the sender crashes, the message may be delivered to all or ignored by all. Here P3, once the P3 crash, know that particular message sent by the P3 is received by all the remaining processes, and kept that particular message by all the remaining processes. They have to ignore that message, because in between the process P3 has down. Okay, so here the virtual synchronous reliability is maintained in that particular case. Then the implementing, how to implement the virtual synchrony. So here the communication assumption is what? The communication is reliable, then order preserving and the point-to-point communication is there. Means every time we need to preserve the order. The message is having the specific order, and that message is received. It should be in the particular order, or the order to which the sender sends that particular message. Okay, and then the requirement, what type of requirements are there? All messages are delivered to all non-faulty processes, because here we are considering the reliable communication. Then when once that message is received by one of the member of that group, then that particular message is received or delivered to each and every process which is unfaulty or non-faulty. Okay, then the solution of that virtual synchrony implementation is what? The first step is in that the first one step, each PJ, that is process in G, keeps a message in the holdback queue. As we have already seen, two different queues are maintained there. The first one is holdback queue and another one is delivered queue. Then when the P is having some message to communicate, then each PI in G keeps the message in holdback queue until it knows that all PJ in queue have received it. Okay, means once that particular message is received by all the remaining members, that particular message will be discarded by PJ itself. The message is received by all is called as the stable state. If that particular message is received by each and every member of the group, then that state is known as stable state. Only the stable messages are allowed to be delivered. Okay, means what? In the previous example, here P3 is having something to communicate with remaining messages. So that particular message uh, is stable till that P3 is alive. But once the P3 is crashes or P3 fails, that particular message is not a stable. It becomes unstable message. So that particular message will not be received or will not be delivered to all the remaining messages. Okay. So here only stable messages are allowed to be delivered here. Then view changes. View changes means what? The group information changes. View changes means what? If initially GI is having GI group is having information, process information P1, P2, P3, P4, but now once this G3 sorry P3 crashes, then G3 is having changed of view, that is P1, P2, P4, not P3 is available there. So view is changes from GI to GI plus 1. Then what should be there in this case? So multicast all unstable messages to all PJ in GI plus 1. Then multicast a flush message to all the PJ in GI plus 1. And after having received a flush message from all, install the new view GI plus 1. Okay. So we need to use these three steps when GI changes from GI plus 1. Okay, so whenever we have to implement virtual synchrony, we need to consider all these steps. Understood? After that,
Ma'am,
yes,
ma'am, I have not understood that one point. Each PJ in G keeps a message. Means each process is having a queue or what?
first one step.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. First step.
Here in the first step, each PJ in G keeps a message in the holdback queue until it knows that all PJ in G have received it. Means what? Here, suppose process P means I will explain it here. Suppose here PI, P1, P2, P3, P4 all are having that queue, that is uh, holdback queue. Okay, so the message, suppose here P2 is having some message. Okay, and P2 sending that message to all the remaining processes P1, P3 and P4. So that particular message that P2 kept in the holdback queue till that message is delivered to all the processes P1, P3, P4. Okay, once a delivery message is received by P2, that particular message will be discarded by this. Okay, till that it should keep it that particular process PJ. Okay,
Means after delivery, it is taking out from that holdback queue or what?
yes,
After
after
that
delivery.
message is delivered to all other processes.
Here, two different queues are maintained. First one queue is holdback queue, and another one is the delivery queue. Okay, so PJ, suppose consider P1 process. P1 process is having something to communicate, then P1 process send is means simultaneously. Suppose P1, P2, P3 all are having something to communicate, but we need to use the time. What can I say? The multiplexing, time multiplexing. Okay, so here at a specific time, suppose two processes are having something to communicate, then they both have to store that particular message to holdback queue, at holdback queue. Okay, and at the specific time that particular message is received or delivered to all the remaining processes. Okay, until it knows that all pj means all the remaining pj in g have received it. Till it, that particular message is kept in the holdback queue. Understood?
Yes, ma'am. Means after it is delivered to all, we call it stable message.
Yes,
Otherwise,
yes.
it is unstable.
Then and only then we can call it as a stable. That's why I explained here. Here P3 is having something it want to send or it want to communicate to the remaining messages, sorry, remaining processes. But that message is not called as a stable message because in between the delivery means before delivered to all the remaining processes, the process P3 crashes. Okay, so that's why this message is not called as a stable state. Once that message is delivered to all the remaining processes, then only we can call it as a stable process or stable message. Okay, so
Yes,
after
ma'am.
that, here only stable messages, here I have already explained that only stable messages are allowed to be delivered. Okay,
Yes,
here
ma'am.
that all the processes are having or keeping the holdback queue, and whenever that message is ready to deliver. Okay, ready to deliver, it will transfer to deliver queue, and then whenever it is means reaches to head of that particular delivery queue, then only it will deliver to the application, means then only it will deliver to all the remaining processes. Understood? So here, once the view is changes from GI to GI plus 1, we need to use or follow these steps. That is, first one is all our unstable messages till that message is ready to deliver. Okay, and if it is not ready to deliver, then it should message flush that particular message, means the discard that message. Okay, so
Yes,
here,
ma'am.
okay, actually, um, 12:45 is there. Sorry, I was about to finish it before 10 minutes. So I will stop here. So thank you. Thank you for joining. Actually, Birari sir has to take 10 minutes more. So just mark your attendance, all of you. Start with roll number 1 to 10. Mark your attendance and you can leave the session. Number 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, 41 to 50, 51 to 60, 61 to 70, and all the remaining students mark your attendance and leave the session because you have to join within 5 minutes. Birari sir's lecture. Okay, so thank you. Hello, Roshni, Nikhil, Pratibha. Have you marked your attendance?